It had been 11 months since the birth of baby Imaginos and his twin brother Maggie. Their mother, Oceana, had chosen the surname Imagini to honor their spiritual ancestor. Imaginos several months earlier, much to the delight of Destinova, who had wept with joy and nostalgia during their naming ceremony. Oceana was worried, however. While Imaginos was darting from place to place in short bursts, exploring the hut in great curiosity, Maggie seemed to be having difficulty maintaining a standing position for any significant amount of time. Indeed, his legs seemed to give out the moment he got to his feet. He just doesn't seem to have any strength in his legs, she told Callisto during one of the midwife's home visits. You don't think there's something wrong with him, do you? Give him time, Callisto said, her tone reassuring, though she wasn't fully convinced. Not all infants start as early as young Imaginos here. Some start walking as late as 18 months. Maggie might just be one of those late bloomers. If he's not up and running, so to speak, by then, I'll do an evaluation and we'll see what's up. In any case, I wouldn't be too worried. Our community, as you've observed, has a very progressive way of handling physical setbacks. Indeed, Oceana had observed this. While there were very few citizens with such setbacks, there were a few elders who had become infirm and a couple teenagers who had lost mobility due to accidents. They were carried from place to place piggyback by their stronger friends and relatives when needed, and one girl who had lost an arm due to a shark attack while she had been fishing solo, something that was strongly discouraged for that very reason, had a brother who helped her with meals and other things that required the use of two hands. Otherwise, she adapted to single-handedness rather well. Oceana looked at Maggie, who was currently stacking a set of blocks, which a family had gifted him on the day of the naming ceremony. The blocks had belonged to a child who had been given them by the original. Imaginos, on his final visit, that child had long since outgrown them, and it had been he, Orion Pleiades, who had given them to Maggie, with a smile and a gentle pat on the head. The blocks, carved with colorful pictures of star vultures and vulture cats, as well as letters and numbers on each side, had been handcrafted by Imaginos himself. There were 9 in the set in a small box in rows of 3 by 3. The box, also crafted by Imaginos, was embossed with the hook and cross symbol of Imaginos himself, a symbol which Oceana Imagini had, with general approval, adopted as her own family sigil. Imaginos toddled over to his brother and plopped down next to him, a toy boat in hand. It, too, had been carved by his namesake long ago. Sometimes Oceana wondered where someone like the first Imaginos, who was filled with wanderlust and had managed to start 2 world wars with a single mere rescue and establish an entire civilization and traverse both the earth and the stars, had found the time to carve and create so many toys and games for the people who lived on this relatively obscure island. Maggie play? Imaginos asked. Maggie smiled up at his brother and handed him a block. The two were inseparable, despite Maggie not walking yet. It made Oceana smile to see her sons getting along so well. She prayed that Maggie was, indeed, just a late bloomer. Or at least that, if something was wrong, it would not hurt the brotherly friendship between them. Destinova, having finished her morning toast, sat beside Oceana and the twins, who were busy playing with their mashed bananas more than eating them a couple months later. They seem to be getting on well, she observed. Callie says that you're worried about Maggie. He still isn't walking, Oceana replied fitfully. I know that twins don't always do everything at the same time. And maybe I'm putting too many expectations on him. Because of his brother, I just don't know what to do at this stage. She says that she'll check him after 18 months, but I'm really worried. What if it's serious? What if he loses his legs? It won't come to that, Destinova reassured her. But if you're really concerned, I'm sure she'll see you later today if she's not busy. She glanced over at the table where Callisto was sitting and raised an eyebrow. Catching her glance, Callisto nodded, then held up 2 fingers to indicate that she would see Oceana with Maggie at 2 o'clock that afternoon. Maggie, oblivious to the concerns over his situation, stuffed a handful of mashed bananas into his mouth, getting some of it on his face and a little in his nose, while Imaginos took his own and threw it on the ground at a visiting star vulture who eyed it suspiciously. Taking a napkin, Oceana dispelled the misplaced mashed fruit from her son's face. What are you doing? She asked Imaginos. Sharing, Imaginos said. Innocently, his eyes blinked sweetly at her. Oceana raised an eyebrow and gave him a couple chunks of dragon fruit. Instead, he had liked mashed bananas when they were all he could eat of the island's diet. But since he and his brother had added dragon fruit to the menu, mashed bananas had been straight out for him. Well, they both seemed to have healthy appetites, at least, Destinova observed. She turned to the twins. What are you doing after breakfast? Blocks, Maggie announced happily. Boats, added Imaginos. Bath, Oceana told them both, then play. No, Maggie pouted. Bubbles, Imaginos asked hopefully. If you eat your banana, Oceana replied. Imaginos gave in, finally eating the offending fruit. Callisto carefully examined Maggie's legs. She tickled his feet to see if he responded, and smiled when he squirmed and giggled. Well, I can tell he's not suffering from neuropathy, she told Oceana. That's good. It might be a musculature issue. I'm going to try checking his reflexes. Taking out her small percussion hammer, she tapped each of Maggie's knees. Neither moved, not even a twitch. Callisto frowned. This is not good. Your son has no muscle response in either knee. Being unable to look inside to see what's going on, I can't be sure what the cause is. There may be a simple lack of strength in the muscles, or the muscles might not be properly connected to the neuromuscular junction. What does that mean? Oceana asked, the term confusing her. She had sent Imaginos outside to play in the garden for 2 reasons. The first was that he was very rambunctious, and she wanted to focus on what the doctor had to say. The second was that she knew that listening to big medical words would be very boring for him, and a bored Imaginos was usually not a good thing. It means that the brain's signals to the muscles that make the legs move are not being properly received. It's similar to paralysis, but at the same time different. In this case, he does experience sensation in the legs, and he can bend and move them with some effort. But the connection that gives the muscles their strength is all wrong. What can we do? Oceana asked. Muscle problems sometimes resolve themselves in later years, Callisto told her. The hormones introduced into the body during puberty might correct it. Or he may live with this for the rest of his life. We won't know until then. And in the meantime, Oceana lifted Maggie into her arms. In the meantime, he should be encouraged to work with the abilities he does have. Callisto replied, upper body power, strength of mind and spirit, creativity. These things will help him feel stronger in his heart, lessen the chance of certain depressions usually associated with limited mobility. And Imaginos? Oceana asked. I'm afraid that if I give Maggie the additional care he needs, that Imaginos might grow jealous. But I'm also worried that Maggie will become jealous of Imaginos later in life, when Imaginos is able to do so many things that he can't do right now, and might never be able to. That's up to you, Callisto said. It's not always going to be easy to be fair. Sometimes life doesn't work that way. It's better for them to learn from you, that sometimes Maggie might get more attention, and sometimes Imaginos might get more. But you always love them equally. Thank you, Oceana said, going to the door and looking outside. Imaginos, of course, had dug up several of her flowers, roots and all. Really, Imaginos, your fault, Callisto told her. You should have let him remain inside. He was probably feeling like you'd care more about his brother. Maybe you're right, Oceana said, turning to Imaginos. She sighed. I'm sorry, honey. Kay, Imaginos said, a mild sulking sound in his voice. Oceana felt that she would have to work a little harder to apologize. It had been 5 years since Oceana had learned that Maggie would not be able to walk during his childhood. Maggie, while disappointed that he couldn't run and chase his brother Imaginos, found entertainment and enjoyment in the things he could do. His upper body strength was slightly greater than most children his age, and he loved to swim, even if he couldn't kick his legs. Oceana carried him piggyback when he and Imaginos left the house, first to preschool, then nursery school, and now to first grade for the first time. Imaginos and Maggie sat through early maths, which they thought was boring. Maggie raised a hand. Yes, Maggie? The teacher asked, eager to impart her knowledge. Why do we learn maths? Maggie asked. He wondered if there was a reason for it. Good question, the teacher replied. You won't have much use for it at your age yourself, but maths does affect you, for example. Do you know how much you weigh? 19 kilos, Maggie told her. Okay, so if we do the math, it would mean that for anyone to carry you piggyback, they would have to weigh at least twice your body weight. The teacher explained, going to the chalkboard and writing out the equation 19 plus 19 as a side thought. She then added, later on you will learn to do it like this, and wrote the equation 19 times 2, which she quickly erased to avoid confusion. So, if we add them together, she did the work on the board. We get 38. So anyone who wanted to carry you would have to weigh at least 38 kilograms. That's why math is important to you. Your brother, for example, he weighs what? 17 kilograms, Imaginos replied. So right now, he doesn't weigh enough to carry you. The teacher explained, but he will when he gets older. I'm gonna get big and strong so I can carry my brother when we're grown up. Imaginos told her proudly. If you gots to, Maggie said. Have to, Mags. Imaginos corrected him. Right, have to, Maggie agreed. Mama says that my legs might start working when I get older. That would be awesome, Imaginos told him. Yes, it would, the teacher said. Now, let's get back to our work. It was a bit more interesting after that. Chapter 5. Maggie looked inside his lunch bucket and frowned. Inside there was a banana, half a dragon fruit, and a serving of shrimp kept cool in a cluster of ice wrapped in a palm leaf. Trade you, he said to his brother, not being fond of shrimp. He preferred crab, but that was served primarily at dinner rather than lunch. We have the same lunch, Imaginos pointed out. I'll give you my shrimp for your banana, Maggie offered, knowing that Imaginos would be more than happy to get rid of the banana. He didn't like them in infancy, and he didn't like them any better now. Deal, Imaginos agreed. But just as he was about to make the trade, the teacher stepped up. No trades, she told them. Your mother told me to make sure you ate what she made for you. And since neither of you is allergic to what you don't like, I'm afraid I have to follow her wishes. Aw, man, Maggie pouted. May I make a suggestion? The teacher offered, smiling. Eat what you don't like first. That way, when you eat what you do like, the new taste will cancel out the yucky taste. Sounds like a good idea to me, Imaginos agreed. What do you think, Mags? I guess I can do that, Maggie said. Reluctantly, they ate in silence, occasionally making faces that made it quite clear what they thought of the shrimp and the banana. After lunch, the teacher turned to Maggie. Do you want to go outside and play in the sandbox with Imaginos? She asked, ready to carry him out to one of the rowboat-shaped sandboxes that sat in the school's playground. Can I read instead? Maggie asked, hopefully. Good question. The teacher raised an eyebrow. Can you? May I? Imaginos prompted. May I read a book instead? Maggie asked again, fixing his mistake. Yes, you may. The teacher agreed. What would you like to read about? Do you want a storybook or a learning book? Story, Maggie decided after a moment. How about the tales of the silver kitty? The teacher suggested, reaching for the book. Okay, Maggie agreed as the teacher handed him the book. Do you want to go out and play? She asked. Imaginos shook his head. Mama says I have to stay with Maggie so he won't be lonely. I can keep him company, the teacher told him. You should go make some friends. It's only half an hour, Maggie, and I will read together. And if you make a friend, they can become Maggie's friend too. That sounds brilliant, Imaginos said, hurrying outside to try to make a friend for himself and his brother. It was early morning on a Tuesday when Imaginos woke to get ready for school. He heard a moan from his brother and went over to Maggie's bed. Maggie was rocking from side to side, whimpering and sweating profusely. Imaginos ran to their mother's room. Mama, he exclaimed, Maggie's sick. Oceana rushed to follow him back to the bedroom he shared with his brother, hurrying to scooch down next to the bed. She felt Maggie's forehead. By the dipper's light, she gasped, picking up her ailing child and rushing to Callisto's home along with Imaginos, who banged loudly on the door. Callisto answered the door, closing her dressing gown as she threw it open. Bring him inside, she instructed urgently as she led Oceana over to the sofa. She noticed that Maggie's lips were twitching and his hands were shaking. When did this start? Oceana looked at Imaginos. I don't know. Imaginos sounded very upset. He was like that when I woke up. It's some kind of seizure, Callisto said. It might be related to the muscle weakness in his lower body. A look of frustration came into her eyes. I wish we had access to outside medicine sometimes. All I can do is keep him comfortable and make sure he doesn't hurt himself until this is over. Imaginos turned to his mother. Is Maggie going to die? Not for a very long time, I hope, Oceana said, though her voice held no certainty. Not today, Callisto assured them. But I don't think this will be his last seizure. It has to be connected to his condition. And there's nothing we can do here in New Plutonia for him, Oceana asked. Nothing at all, Callisto. And because of what happened to herself and Imaginos, Destinova doesn't trust the outside world. I came from the outside world, Oceana pointed out, and she trusts me. Because the tree of blood judged you worthy, Callisto reminded her. And your only memories are the ones you've built since you joined us. And what if my old memories come back? Oyana asked. Will I be asked to leave? I don't see why, Callisto told her. You've proven yourself to be a good person, and Destinova likes you. Unless you're somehow connected to the organization that slaughtered Imaginos. I don't think she'll make you leave. Who slaughtered me? Imaginos asked, somewhat taken aback. Not you, dear, Callisto explained. The man you were named for. But isn't his soul mine and Maggie's? Imaginos asked. That's true, Oceana sighed. I'm gonna go and get him someday, Imaginos said, making boxing jabs that seemed a little too good for his age. The tree that made you already took care of that, Callisto reassured him. And where'd you learn to box like that? Watching the fighters, Imaginos replied. They're good. He made a few more jabs before losing his balance with his footing and falling on his butt. The others chuckled, including Maggie, whose seizure had passed. Okay, I need work. Imaginos sulked. After hearing about Maggie's seizure, the teacher called Oceana to the school for a parent-teacher conference. I think Maggie is one of the sweetest boys in my class, the teacher said, and it pains me to say this, but I think we need to remove him from school until his seizures can be controlled, or at least until the students and Maggie are older and more disciplined. Is that really necessary? Oceana asked, protest dwelling just under the surface of her voice. I wish it wasn't, the teacher replied. As I said, Maggie is a wonderful boy, but there are 25-year-olds in the classroom, and I can't watch everyone and deal with a seizure at the same time. It's not Maggie's fault that he has them. I understand that. It's just something that happens to be. I'm willing to keep him in class for the rest of the week while we find a tutor that can homeschool him. It will have to be a medically trained tutor given the chance of a medical emergency. Are you afraid that his attacks will frighten other students? Oceana asked. That possibility did cross my mind, the teacher admitted. But I'm more afraid that Maggie will seize and I don't have the experience needed to help him when it happens. Oceana deflated, her growing anger subsiding as the teacher's explanation made sense. Thank you for making the effort, she said, solemnly. It was Imaginos' first full-blown tantrum. As soon as he heard that Maggie would not be joining him at school after the week ended, he deliberately threw down his lunch bucket and kicked the scattered contents across the room. Imaginos! Oceana exclaimed. You will pick up that lunch now. No! Imagino said in a very disagreeable tone. No, not until you say that Maggie can come to school. Honey, your brother is sick, very sick, and he needs special supervision to make sure he doesn't get hurt. I'll superfine him, Imagino's argued, getting his wording jumbled as a result of his anger. You're too little to help, honey, Oceana said, touched by her firstborn twin's eagerness to help his brother. If he doesn't go, I'm not going either, Imagino's pouted, kicking the banana again. Pick it up, Oceana said firmly, and don't think that bruising it will excuse you from eating it. With a miserable look on his face, Imagino's put the banana and other food into his lunch bucket. He turned to face his brother Maggie and gave him a big hug. I mean it. You have to go to school, Oceana told him. How else are you going to make friends that can help you and Maggie when you get bigger? I don't want to leave Maggie, Imagino said in a deflated tone. I know you don't, Oceana said, but sometimes that's how things have to be, and it's only during school time. But I'm supposed to take care of him, Imagino sighed. I'm supposed to take care of both of you, Oceana told him. Now I'm going to escort you to school, and as punishment for your tantrum, you can carry both lunch buckets. Yes, Mama? Imagino said, not realizing that this was something he did anyhow until they were halfway to the school. When he mentioned this, Oceana raised an eyebrow and asked, "Oh, is it?" and smiled. They arrived at the school and were about to go in when Maggie's eyes rolled back and his head lolled back. "Maggie!" Imagino's exclaimed. "Mama, Mama, Maggie!" "Oh no," Oceana cried out. Imagino's. She pointed down the lane to where Callisto's midwifery was. "Go get Callisto. Tell her what's happening. Hurry!" Running as fast as he could, Imagino's made it to Callisto's midwifery in 5 minutes. "And call!" he called, using his nickname for her. "And Callie, Maggie's sick. He's having an attack." Callisto rushed outside. "Where is he?" she asked. "Mama and Maggie just got to the school," Imagino's told her as he led her back to the school. After examining Maggie, Callisto looked at Oceana with deep concern on her face. "I'm afraid he's beyond Plutonian medicine. I need to talk to the Queen. He needs care from the mainland." Oceana looked worried. "Will Queen Destinova allow it?" she asked. She doesn't really trust mainlanders. "I'll let her know how important the situation is," Callisto said. Destinova looked out at the sea. There really is no other way, she concluded after listening to Callisto's report about Maggie. "He's had 2 seizures already, only a day apart," Callisto told her. "He needs medical care that we can't provide here. So, even if we bring the doctor from the mainland, they won't be able to treat him." "No," Callisto replied. "We need to send Maggie to the mainland." "I don't trust them," Destinova said. "Not after what they did to the original Imaginos and to me." "I'm sure not everyone is like that," Callisto said. "And what about you?" Destinova asked. "You can't accompany him. They put you in the circus before you could blink." Destinova sighed would bring him. She decided. The boat that the man who killed Imaginos is still moored in the lagoon cave. I'll take Oceana, Imaginos, and Maggie to the mainland in Cornwall. I'm not subjecting them to the people of New Hampshire. I'm hoping the folks in Cornwall will be more humane. You'll need a crew, Callisto pointed out. Accepted, Destinova agreed. But they must remain on ship when we reach the mainland. Remember, no one outside of this island has ever laid eyes on their kind before, and people tend to distrust anything that is unusual to them. She turned to Callisto. "Fetch Zaranova. She will rule in my stead while I am gone." Chapter It was early morning on Friday by the time the crew had been assembled for the trip to Cornwall. None of those who would be going, save Destinova, had ever been away from New Plutonia. It had been decided that 5 of the island's best fishermen would become part of the crew, as they had experience with boats, even if they had only traveled less than 5 miles away from shore. Desile, who was the captain of one of the fishing ships, had agreed to take on the position of boatswain after an argument with Destinova, who had wanted him to be captain. He had pointedly insisted that as queen that she should be captain, as it would not feel right to him to be a higher rank than her if she were on board the ship. 3 members of his crew, the Crassos twins Alker and Mizar, who was named after his grandfather, and Megan Dubhia, had also signed up for the voyage on the Imaginosa. The navigator was a young woman named Emira Ostriana, who had been a student of astronomy and loved mapping the stars at night. It was from Destinova herself that Emira had learned the names of the stars: Rigel, Betelgeuse, Sirius, and of course, the 7 sons of Callisto, who were called Alioth, Dubi, Medrez, Merak, Fekta, Alkaid, and Mizar. Emira learned that these were also the names of her grandfathers, who sired the 7 families upon Destinova, before she had been rescued nearly 30 years earlier by the original Imaginos, who had founded New Plutonia as a sanctuary for vulture cats and star vultures, and later for the families of Destinova. As they made the final preparations for the voyage, Oceana was settling in her cabin with Imaginos and Maggie, whom she was making sure was comfortable in his hammock. Little Imaginos was swaying in his hammock, smiling at how comfortable it felt to him. "Just like a dream," he says. "Or a cradle," Maggie agreed. "I bet we'll fall asleep real easy in these." "I think you will," Oceana agreed. "But for now, I need you two to just stay put while I go and speak to the captain." "Okay," Imagino said. "I'll take care of my baby brother." "Not a baby," Maggie pouted. "I'm just as old as you." Now. Oceana smiled at them. "Be nice, you two. We have a long voyage ahead of us." "Yes, Mama," they said together. Ruffling their hair, Oceana left their cabin and made her way upstairs to the main deck of the ship. "How are they?" Destinova asked her. "Settled for now," Oceana replied, "though I suspect that they will become excited once we're underway." "Maybe," Destinova agreed. "Just keep them out from underfoot," Alcor grumbled. "This isn't fishing. We're gonna be a great distance from any shore, so we don't want anyone getting hurt, especially since we have to leave Callisto back on the island to deal with a few upcoming births in the next 6 months. So, we don't have a doctor." Oceana was alarmed at this. "We have a trainee," Destinova said, referring to Emira, who was studying with Callisto during the days as much as she was studying with Destinova at night. "I'm not the most ideal option," Emira admitted, "but I will do my best to keep everyone healthy." "Who's gonna cook?" Mizar asked. "I am," Oceana replied. "You guys just make sure that we have fish." As a small band played the New Plutonian anthem on the shore, the crew of the Imaginosa drew in the anchor and unfurled the sails. The voyage to get help for little Maggie was just beginning.